Welcome to the dynamic learning hub of ExcelR at Andheri East. A prime spot conveniently located at just a 5-minute walk from LIC Andheri Metro. In our journey of over a decade, we have proudly trained over 2 lakh students. We have also been recognized by Deloitte, Silicon India, and other accreditation bodies. Experience learning like never before in our spacious and comfortable classrooms. With high-definition projectors and state-of-the-art acoustics in place, we ensure effective learning even to the farthest point in the room. The hybrid mode is a game changer as you can enjoy the benefits of a live classroom from the comfort of your home. Even if you happen to miss any classroom session, you can still attend the same session with the same trainer at the same time at your convenience, maintaining consistency in your learning progress. Wanna get started? Join us for a demo or career chat over a cup of coffee at our Andheri branch. ExcelR. We don't just train, we build careers.
Yes, so the collaboration with ExcelR was an excellent one. We conducted a Power BI workshop with Advanced Excel over a span of 3 days. The workshop was almost 12 hours long in total. Mr. Karthik, who was an amazing trainer, helped the students understand the concepts deeply. I am sure that the students will be able to apply these concepts in their careers as well as their daily lives.
The trainer, Mr. Karthik, was an excellent person where he explained in very detailed manner on how to give great insights using very complex data sets.
So it was a machine learning workshop. We learned a lot from the course and it was a great experience attending the workshop.
The trainer was very helpful. He had a hands-on approach with his teaching and it was fabulous.
This was a great experience for me. So I would absolutely love it if ExcelR and its team would come again to our campus and conduct more events like this.
It was a great course and it started from basics and took me to a great extent.
The experience of the workshop was really nice. The feedback from all the students was positive. They understood the concept. The workshop was also practical based with some questions. The experience with ExcelR was very smooth. They helped us in conducting the workshop smoothly right from the booking of the vendor and deciding the course till the distribution of certificates. In overall, this workshop was a success during our Technical Fest Atmos, and I thank ExcelR for being a part of it.
was very much interested in learning digital marketing course for a very long period of time, but I don't get a proper platform. So later from our college, I get to know about ExcelR and I enrolled in ExcelR course. It was really good experience. Our course has been taken by Mayur sir, and he was very good teacher. He not only focusing on theory part, he is doing how real digital marketing works, and it was in total very good experience. I get so much of knowledge. Here they not only focusing on study, they also conducting different exam to test our knowledge, and as we are giving the exam, so to appreciate our work, they give certificates for the toppers, and along with the certificate they give hampers. Thank you, ExcelR.
Recently, I was searching for digital marketing courses online in Google, and I came across ExcelR, and I attended a digital marketing course which was for 15 days. My mentor Mayur helped me for attending these classes. So, office in Bengaluru, this digital ExcelR.
I came to know about this course from my college. Actually, for learning platform, this is very nice, and I learned from here ChatGPT and AI from online. Because he's teaching for me for AI generative and ChatGPT. We are using this technology in more. And after finishing the courses, I came for collecting the certificate. I seen the classrooms and faculties. Classroom is very nice. After the completion of exam, they will give gift and certificates. Thank you, ExcelR, for giving these courses. I learned a lot from this. I gained the more knowledge from here. And thank you for ExcelR for teaching us.
Hello guys, I'm Vikram Mahajan and I'm studying in Swami Vivekananda Institute of Technology College, and I came across a training program which was mobile app development using Flutter, which was given to us by ExcelR Solutions. I came across this program through my college faculty who told us about this program, that it is a very good course and you should enroll in this course. So I enrolled in this course, and initially I felt really good about this course because they started everything from a very basic point of view, that even if someone who doesn't know anything about Flutter or anything about mobile app development can also learn the same way the ones who know about it are learning. So no student was left behind and everyone was given equal attention. All the doubts throughout the course were cleared. And if we had any questions also, we were like, the trainer was also ready to stay for a longer time than it was scheduled, even for the sake of doubts. So that shows how important the students are to them. So it was a really good experience with ExcelR's program, and by the end of the training program, I was able to develop my own application. And through the development also, there was another point. Yeah, so our sir taught us about how we can connect our own mobile phone to our laptop and write code in our laptop, and you can see the output in your phone. It was really creative and interesting for me. I felt really good about that. So in the end, I developed my own mobile application. I showed it to my mother, I showed it to my friends. I felt really good about it. So I would really suggest ExcelR. I would recommend it to all my friends to take courses from here, as they focus on the children, focus on the students, and they focus on what's necessary, that is the students' doubts gets cleared and everything else. So today I came down to the ExcelR office like to collect my certificate. So I got to know about what other courses ExcelR is offering. It included data analysis, data analyst, social media marketing, and full stack Java.
Good evening, all. Dear students, kindly inform your friends to join the session. As we can see, today is very less participate, only 24. So I request everyone, please inform your friends to join the session as soon as possible. So we will start a day. Roshan sir.
Yeah, hi, Sushil.
Hello sir. You can take over the class.
Sure, sure. Students, I see a less than today. So please ask your friends to join fast. You are still in the weekend mode, I guess. So please remind your friends to join fast so that we'll jump into the Spring Boot concepts today. So please ask your friends to join fast. Okay, I'm sharing my screen. So can I get a quick heads up on what is discussed in the last class? So very good evening to all of you. So I hope you enjoyed your weekend to the best. Yes. So let's back on to the concepts part and then on the project part. Okay, on full stack development. So can I get a quick heads up? Like, am I audible? Yes.
Yeah, you're audible, sir.
Okay. So, so what is this is in the last class guys on Friday's session? Can I get a quick recap in the chat box? So what we have discussed or what concepts were discussed, if you remember. Yes. Okay, let me start. So is database discussed? Yes. Is database discussed? SQL? Yes. So we went with what ID? We went with MySQL ID, right? The day. Yes, we created our student table. And then like we have discussed the commands as well, DDL, DML, yes, DQL, DCL, DCL. Yes. So we have discussed create, DDL. What commands we have discussed? We discussed about create, alter, drop, truncate, right? Yes. So what is the difference between the drop and truncate? So create is used for creating your table, whereas alter is used for adding the column or renaming your column, right? Like if you wanted to change the structure of your table. And then drop is used for dropping the data as well as dropping your schema as well. Then truncate, dropping your only the data, but the schema will be still be there. The table will be there still, right? Then we went with the DML commands, right? So where we discussed about insert, update, delete, right? Insert, update, and delete, right? Then we also discussed the DQL command, that is select, right? So selecting all the data from the table, selecting all the columns from the table, all the column data from the table. Which command I'll be using? So I need to go with select. I'll be going with the star command to select all the columns. And then from student, right? What is the table name? The table name I should be giving, right? Yes. So then we created our student table in the database, and then we interacted with the database, not from the MySQL, the database DBMS itself. We interacted using the Java application, using which technology? JDBC technology, right? Which stands for Java Database Connectivity, right? Yes or no? Can I get a quick up in the chat box? I need interaction, students, like how you interacted in the previous sessions, the same interaction I need. Today is somewhat silence in the chat box. I don't like that. Please interact this. So JDBC stands for Java Database Connectivity. Why we use this technology? I've also discussed. There will be a like Java application understands only Java instructions, right? Whereas your database understands only SQL instructions, right? Then this Java application understands only Java instructions. But what I need in between to translate these Java instructions to SQL instructions or to SQL instructions to Java instructions to basically retrieve the data inside the Java application or to reflect the data inside the Java application, what I need in between. The need is driver, right? So which is a software which will convert your Java instructions to SQL instructions and SQL instructions to Java instructions, right? Then There are like 4 types of drivers I have told, and we were using type 4 driver I have told, right? So which is MySQL connector. Since we have installed MySQL, for every database, there will be a driver will be there, right? So for MySQL, there is MySQL connector we have downloaded from internet. The jar file we have downloaded, right? From internet we have downloaded the jar file, and we have integrated it in the build path, in libraries path, right? So if I can show you the open my Eclipse. While it is opening in the meanwhile, can you ask your friends to join fast? I see still a less strength. Can you put it in your communities? The class has started. In your student communities will be there, right? So in your WhatsApp channels or in your college WhatsApp channels, please tell your friends to join fast. The class has started. So my workspace is this one. Can you send the link over the YouTube as well, the Zoom link? So here we have discussed this JDBC app, and they were like how many steps in the JDBC app basically to make any JDBC application. How many steps were there? We have discussed that one as well, right? So there were like 7 steps, right? They were like primarily 7 steps, right? So first one is loading and registering your driver, right? So I will go to here. We have linked our library as well here, the build path. How to link your library? You go to your build path, then configure build path. Then inside this, the class path, you'll be linking your library, right? Like inside the library section, then add external jars. Inside the class path, you'll be linking your library. So we have linked the library in reference tab. You have this jar file ready. And then we have created our main class, and then we followed all the steps, right? So the first step is importing your package. I've imported the package on the top, then loading and registering your driver, getting the instance of your driver, importing the driver package as well, and then registering the driver, right? Then we call the get connection method, right? Which contains your URL, username, password. Okay, we need to give all this URL. So URL, how you will be giving your URL? So main protocol, sub protocol, what database you're using, then what is IP address of your database. Since the database is in my system itself, I'm going with the localhost. Yes. Then colon 3306, which is the port number of your database, the implicit or the default port number of your database. Then my database name, I should be giving here. Then username of your database, then password of your database. Then I'm creating the statement object, then the connection object will be thrown. Then using that, I need to create a vehicle to pass my query from Java application to database, or database to Java application. For that, I require a statement object. So for that, I'm calling the create statement method, and then I'm calling the execute query method. This execute query method is in this execute query method, I'm passing the query, right? There are like 3 methods over there. For select command, there is execute query method, and for DML commands, we have execute update, And for nested queries, we have the execute method, right? So here I'm going with the select command. So because of that reason, I'm going with the execute query method, right? Then what I am doing, I am retrieving the data from the result set. It is showing me result set. Like in the result set, the table will be shown. The table I need to process it up. So step by step, column by column, I need to process it up. I need to print it up. So for that reason, I'm using a while loop and I'm iterating over each and every column of each and every row, and I'm printing it up, right? So this is processing your result from result set. Then closing your statement object, closing your connection objects, closing your result set objects, right? So this we have discussed, and then I have told you that this is not the efficient approach. This JDBC, I've also asked you, I've also given you some assignment, like to do a JDBC CRUD app, right? So I also said you in the class that this is not the efficient approach. This is not the efficient approach because in every JDBC application, in every interaction, you need to write the same 7 steps. So that is a burden to the developer to write this same duplicated code or same boilerplate code. So for that reason, I have told you the solution is JPA, right? So JPA in the sense Java Persistence API. It is a specification or rules where we can directly persist the object. Here we are persisting the primitive values, right? Here we are persisting the primitive values, each and everything. But there I can directly persist the object. So I have also shown you the program, right? So we went with the JPA, and in that we went with the Hibernate implementation. In this Hibernate implementation, directly I will use one method, that is save method, that will retrieve all, that will say, that will insert the that object, means nothing but insert a row into the table. Or else I will also go with find method to collect all the find all method to get all the, like your select query, select all the rows or select all data and retrieve all the data and give back, right? So here with just one method, we are doing all these things. So for that reason, this Hibernate is only generating the query. This Hibernate is only interacting, it is only persisting the object. We also discussed that. And then I went with the servlets concept, right? So servlets. So why is servlets used? Basically, it is a technology to make your web application in Java, right? To make web application in Java, this servlets is a technology. In this, I have discussed like what is the folder structure of your servlet, or I've created the servlet on the day. And for this servlet contains your container, right? So this servlet contains a container, and to that container, I need to interact with which file, web.xml file. So servlet doesn't contain a main method. So because of that reason, I need to write a web.xml file. I need to tell which servlet to execute as well. Yes. So that code also we have written right on that day, on Friday. I went with the servlet app. I went with the creation of your servlet app. Then in this servlet app, this is your folder for your web application folder, basically dynamic web project you're creating. This is your folder in the Java resources. In source main Java, you'll be creating your servlets. And then in the web app, in the meta INF folder, this is nothing but Redmi kind of thing. And in web INF folder, other libraries, third-party libraries will be putting up here, and web.xml file, and again JSP files or HTML files will be putting up inside this web INF folder itself, right? So in the web.xml file, I have written that XML code. Yes, I have written that XML code. Yes, why I have written this XML code? Because I have written the servlet mapping. Basically, when I'm clicking on main, I'm giving the slash main. Then this servlet should be executed, I'm telling. Or else I'm giving the slash as main1. So which servlet name should be executed? Which servlet name should be executed? This should be executed, means main servlet should be executed. It should come here. And then what will happen? So first installation will be done. Okay, when you're doing the first request, installation will be done. Then you have the doGet method, right? For getting the data, you have the doGet method, and accordingly you'll get all the data. You print it on the screen, this color, blue color with welcome to servlets. Then when you are undeploying the servlet, this destroy method will be called. On the day we have seen. Yes. So that is about your servlets. Then I also discussed about JSP. So why JSP is required? We have that lifecycle methods, right? So basically JSP is nothing but we are writing HTML code, right? We are writing HTML code inside Java, right? So until JSP is introduced, we cannot write HTML code inside Java. But now we can write HTML code without using Java methods. But in Servlets, what we are doing, we are using Java methods interlearn, and then we are writing the XML code in the form of string format. But without using that directly, we can write the HTML code inside Java code itself without using any methods itself, using the JS, right? So this until this point we have discussed in the last class on Friday's class, right? So today I'll be jumping directly into the framework concept. Okay, I'll be jumping directly into the framework concept. So can anyone tell me like what is a framework? What is a framework? So why framework is required? Can I get a quick answers in the chat box? Why framework is required, or what is a framework? Anyone can answer. Vidyasri, Subhasri, Sneha, Sweta, Sanjana, Rutu, Praveen, Bushra, Asidi, Bika. Anyone can answer. Why framework is required if you know? It's a set of tools and libraries. Okay, okay. Near to the answer. Near to the answer, but not very near. Preeti. So if you listen about Hibernate framework, a Spring framework, a Spring Boot framework, or Angular framework, right? So why framework is actually required? So if I can answer that, structure and reusability, great, great. This is a basic structure or guidelines. Okay, okay. So basic structure or guidelines, I will call it as specification, not framework. With just efficiency of developers. Okay, Nitish, help developers build application faster. Okay, okay. How Nitish? Okay, any other answers? So I agree with your answer. Help developers build application faster. I agree with your answer. But how it will help developers build applications faster? How it will help us build application faster? So I will go to my keep pre-built components. Okay, okay. Pre-written code. Fine, fine. Pre-written code. Okay, near to the answer. Very near. So pre-written code, can I call it as a library? Can I call it as a library? Pre-written code then. So you have seen the JDBC code, right? You have seen the JDBC code, or your normal Java code, like your file stream code, or your exception handling code, or normal core Java code. Yes, exception handling code. Or if you think about your object creation as well. So what is happening? Like every Java program you take, either you are dealing with exception handling, or either you are dealing with file stream, or either you are dealing with object creation itself. For everything, you need to create a class, and you need to, for every class, if you wanted to interact, definitely you need to create an object for the class. It can be the library class, it can be the library class, it can be your user-defined class as well. Okay, which is predefined class as well. like your exception or arithmetic exception or a null pointer exception. Those are predefined concepts. But you need to definitely create an object to work with it. Or your file stream, your file output stream or file input stream. Those are not written by you, but those are predefined classes, right? You need to definitely create the object for those as well, right? Either if you're creating your user-defined class as well, like main class or A class, B class, ABC class, like that. For that also you need to create the object, right? The same code applies. You need to create the object, you can close your object or it is being collected by garbage collector. The same code applies, right? In JDBC also, if you take the same thing you need to do in every JDBC application. The JDBC application, you need to write the same 7 steps. You need to write the same 7 steps. For that only we went with Hibernate. For that only we went with Hibernate. But in Hibernate also we are writing session fat, like your session factory, building your session factory, that methods we are calling. And then we are opening up the transaction. We are setting up the transaction. Then we are committing the transaction. Then we are closing the transaction. All these steps are again repeated in every Hibernate application, right? So what is happening here? Here duplication, object creation in every class, here duplication. So where, remember one thing is, like for every developer or in any application, for every application, if you go and ask, like any application developer, if you go and ask him, so what is your main burden or what is your main thing? So basically the developer, I will call it as basically application developer. Application developer. This developer, suppose, like I will tell the developer mindset. He don't know this developer. If I talk about the application developer, any application developer, if you go and ask him what he likes, means every day he wants to write something new. Every day he wants to write. Yes, he wants to write something new code. Something new code, right? Every day he wants to write something new code. In future, you are also application developers. Then also, if I come back and ask to you, you will tell this thing only. I wanted to write new code. If some company or if some MNC is again and again, you're doing the same thing. Suppose on day 1, you're writing one code. On day 2, you're writing the same code. On day 3, you're writing the same code. On day 4, you're writing the same code. Then what the application developer, the real application developer does now, he becomes bored of this, and he will leave the company soon. He will look for other opportunities. He will not stay with the company for a long time if he's a real application developer. If he's feeling comfortable, it's okay. I'm talking about the real application developer. So he wanted to write new code every day, and he wanted to write the new code every day, and he don't want to, he wanted to see the old code as well, but the thing is he wanted to do challenging tasks, and he wanted to write the new code every day. And the one thing that he doesn't like, the other thing that he doesn't like is duplication. The real application developer, he doesn't like the duplication. Means he don't want to, suppose he had written day 1. On day 1, he had written some code. On day 1, he has written some code for developing that application. So one ABC code. Okay. On day 2, he prefer writing some BCD code, but not the same ABC. Not the same ABC code again. He prefer reusing this code. Like suppose calling this function and getting that output. But the thing is, you don't want to write the same function again. Like anyone, like if you're writing the same function, some 10,000, like we like in an application, in enterprise level application, we'll have some 10,000 classes created. For that all classes, if you write the same functions again 10,000 times, anyone become bored. He is not an application developer, so he will also become bored. Yes, because we are humans. We wanted to do something new every day, but we don't want to live a bored life, right? So because of that reason, so the main, with all this core Java, or JDBC or Hibernate, the main, if you're developing the application with these technologies, what is happening means these are technologies. These are technologies. In technologies, you can reuse the code, but you cannot make it automated. You cannot make it automated. So when you want that, you need to reuse the code, either call that function multiple times, or you need to write the same code. You need to write the same code multiple times, like your JDBC code. The same utility code you need to write every time. Or if you are calling that also, you're using the same code again. None of them are making your code automated. Yes. So basically, if you're going with the technologies, if you're going with the like your own technologies of that language, own technologies, basically you're not making it automatic. Then which will reduce this like I have said, you right, application developer doesn't need you don't like to write your duplicated code or boilerplate code. This duplication code only, I will call it as boilerplate code. Okay. So this boilerplate code, it doesn't like to write. That is also boring, right? So because of that reason, we came up with one ready-made thing that is ready-made thing that is framework. So basically, in framework, we will not at all will not do the duplication. Whatever duplication is happening, we'll give it to some tool. Okay, we'll give it to some tool. That tool only, in every framework we have this tool, that is container. Okay, in every framework we have this tool that is container. Okay, so in every framework we have this tool that is container. We give the duplicated code, or we give the duplicated code task generation to container. Okay, so this container, what it does in the framework means it will generate the duplicate code, or it will generate the boilerplate code. The main task of this container is to generate the duplicate or boilerplate code itself. So what I'll be doing, I will write which is not duplicated. Means I will write which is not duplicated, in the sense I will concentrate. I will have much a choice to concentrate on the business logic rather than on my application business logic. Rather than concentrating on the duplication code always. Because when you are concentrating on your business logic itself, you will use your minds. Right? But when you're doing the same duplication again and again, the same copy paste again and again, you will not use your minds. You'll just use your hands, right? So that hands code, I'll be giving it a container, whereas the minds codes, like which is requiring the mind, the code that is requiring the mind, I will put it under the developer edits. Okay, so that is being done by your. Okay, so in framework, basically framework is a ready-made architecture given to you. Ready-made architecture like your Maggie, right? Ready-made architecture like your Maggie. So suppose, what is Maggie? What is Maggie? 2 minutes, right? Like everyone know this Maggie word, right? 2 minutes, right? So why it is called as 2 minutes? Because the noodles are already prepared, kept it in the packet. The masala is already prepared and kept it in the packet. So because of that reason, what is happening? You're just taking that noodles up from the packet. You're putting it on the water. You're boiling that water. You're putting the noodles there. You're putting that masala, and that is ready, right? But first, suppose this Maggi is not there. You are working with this Maggi is not there in the market. In that case, what you'll be doing? The noodles are also not there. In that case, what you'll be doing? You will prepare the noodles by yourself. You'll prepare the masala by yourself. Then you will prepare the dish. Right? So this is easier or this is easier. This is easier or this is easier. Preparing noodles and masala is easier, or taking up the Maggi from the market, from your shop, and then preparing is easier. Which is easier, guys? This will take how much time? This will take around 1 to 1.5 hours. 1 to 1.5 hours. Whereas this will take 2 minutes for drinking and 2 minutes for preparation. 5 minutes for preparation. Around 7 minutes, the task will be completed. Your snack will be completed, right? So here, which is framework, which is normal technology. This noodle space masala is, I will consider it as normal technology, whereas this is nothing but your framework. So basically, it is a ready-made architecture where you can directly bring it into your code. Basically, the duplicated code or boilerplate code, and you can prepare other things like on the Maggi. You can put some other vegetables or some other extra masalas, other things you can, other eggs or something you can put it up. But the thing is, you will concentrate on that only things. But the ready-made architecture is already coming. You will concentrate on your own business logic, on your own app functionality, basically, right? So because of that reason, we choose the. So can I get a quick answer if you have understood this? Is framework a new technology? Is framework a new technology? Can I get a quick answer? Is framework a new technology? Yes or no? Is framework a new technology? Can I get a quick answer in the chat box if you're listening? Yes or no? Quick. I'm waiting for your answers in the chat box. Yes or no? Old technology? Old technology, yeah. Okay. Are you using Spring and Spring Boot or your Angular from 1995 or 1990? Preeti? Vijayasree, no. Okay. Since 2002, you're using your Angular. Okay. So basically, it is not a new technology. It is a not also a old technology. It is built on top of your existing technology. It is built on top of your existing technology. In existing technology, what are the drawbacks are there, or what are the boilerplate code, or what is the duplication code that is happening, or that all drawbacks are taken up into your framework. So it is built on top of your existing technologies. Okay, so your JDBC. The JDBC is a technology to interact with the database, right? So on top of it, what came? Like your Hibernate came. On top of it, what has come? Your Spring Data JPA has come, right? Your Spring Data JPA has come. Okay, so here again, Spring JDBC has also come. Okay, on top of it, Spring Data JPA has come. In the same way, your Java, core Java. On top of it, what technology has come, what framework has come means Spring. On top of it, again, to make my work easier, Spring Boot has come. Okay, so then we have our servlets, right? Servlets JSP, which is used to build your Java application, Java web application, right? So on top of it, what has come? Spring MVC has come. Spring MVC has come. Yes. Then again, on top of it, there is a Spring REST as well. Yes. So these all frameworks has come on top of the technology. So this is your technology. This is your technology. And here, your JDBC is a technology, existing Java technology. Yes. On existing Java technologies, the frameworks has come to make my work easier or to reduce the duplicated code or boilerplate code, so that I can concentrate on the functionality of my application rather than writing the same duplicate code again and again. Right? So you understood, right? Why framework is needed or what is a framework, right? So framework is not a new technology. It is built on top of your existing technology itself. So what is a framework? It is a ready-made architecture which helps you in reducing your boilerplate code or duplicated code, which it will give it by the help of your container. So every framework will have a container, and that will give you the duplicated code or your boilerplate. So am I clear until this point? Am I clear until this point? Am I clear until this point? Yes. Can I get a quick answer? Yeah, sure. Okay. So I will share the color. So basically, like your Spring as in Java, the main framework that is popular currently in the market in the backend is Spring. Okay, so this Spring is been introduced by Interface 21 team. Okay, Interface 21 team. I can also call it as pivotal team, like third party. Like it has been introduced by third party. Okay, so only I need to get the jars from internet and I need to work with the Spring. I cannot directly work with the Spring directly from your JDK. It is being downloaded by third parties. So from them, I need to get the jars. I need to download the jars. I need to integrate into my Java application. Then I can work with the Spring, right? So basically, the Spring is a framework inside your Java application, inside your Java ecosystem, okay, which is built on top of your all these technologies. So I can call the Spring as your application framework as well. Okay, application framework as well, because it can do DB logic task. It can do DB logic task. It can do server logic task. Okay, it can also do view based or your front end logic as well. The JSP part also it can do. So all these things, or it can also do REST based logic as well. So all these things it can do by himself. So because of that reason, this Spring is a application based framework. Application based framework. Okay. So in notes, I'll be sharing these notes with you. There are like different types of frameworks over there. Please read it out once you get time. Okay. So in constraint of time, I am just going through the main parts. Just once you get time, just go through these notes once again. Okay, Spring core notes, where you can read it up all about the stuff, all the other stuff. Okay. So now I'm only covering the major parts, which is it. Okay. So this is your Spring. So there are like many modules that are there inside your Spring. If you type Spring modules, you can see the images. Okay, this is an official image. That is not clear. Okay, if you can see the image here, there is no image here. If you can see this image, there are like many modules inside your Spring. The Spring is a huge ecosystem. Spring is a huge framework ecosystem. In this, there are like multiple modules are there to support multiple business tasks. Okay, so there is a Spring test module for testing kind of related things. Spring test module for testing your code snippets basically. Then you have your Spring core container. This is the base module or fundamental module. Like how you have your core Java, in the same way, this Spring core is a fundamental module, where this Spring core module, if you have understood clearly, then you can directly with it's a cakewalk to work with other modules. Okay, it is a very easy task to work with other modules if you are working with this with Spring understanding. So you'll get the understanding of Spring in the Spring core module itself. So if you're spending more time on this and if you're understanding the whole functionality, then this you can interact with this data access module or web module or EOP or your instrumentation or transaction modules easy, right? So on top of this, the Spring core is a fundamental module of your Spring ecosystem. And then on top of it, you have your EOP module, aspects module, instrumentation module. And then we have a data access module, which is nothing but DB logic module, okay? Which we can interact with the database. So that ORM based logic or your JPA based logic or your Spring data JPA, all these things will be there inside this module. And then we have the Spring web application module, which is also called as MVC module. Okay, Spring web application module, which is also called as MVC module is there. So which we using this module, we can create our web applications as. Using this module, we can create our DB logic. And using this module, I can create the objects or beans inside your Spring Core, Spring Container Base. Okay, so these are all the modules that were there inside your Spring ecosystem. Okay, then coming to your first, we will discuss the Spring Core module. So the agenda for the next 1 hour is I will discuss Spring Core module. Okay, how to create the objects or what are the annotations that were there, what is auto wiring, we'll discuss that. And then I will go with the Spring Boot, what are the annotations that were there, what is Spring Boot. And then I will be discussing MVC design pattern. Okay, MVC design pattern. And then I will have a glimpse on Spring MVC as well, Spring MVC as well as Spring REST. Okay. Before that, I will also have a discussion on the Spring Data JPA. Okay. Then we will create we'll create a project on this. We'll create. I will create that Flipkart project which I have discussed on Friday, right? I will discuss that. I told you, right? That structure I will do it up. I will create that project. I will do the structure of entities, etc. in the Flipkart project for today. So the top project will be completed. Okay. So what I'll be doing, the Spring Core module. So what is the use of Spring Core module? They will ask in the interview. So basically the Spring Core module, it is a base module for all the modules. Okay. This module is given to supply Spring containers. Okay. So as I told you, right, every framework will have a container. Okay. Every framework will have a container. That container will only handle the duplication of code. Okay. That will only generate your duplicated code or whatever you ask to him, that code will be generated. Okay, in the same way, your Spring also will have a Spring container. The Spring Core module will generate the Spring container. Okay, to perform dependency injection. What is this dependency injection? We'll see. Okay, so basically, what does Spring Core module performs means it will create Spring containers as well as it will perform dependency injection. Dependency injection. So quickly, I will go to my Eclipse. In the meanwhile, you can also do this project along with me. Okay, so I will go here. I will create a new project here. Like you can create, but before that, I will explain one concept. So the one concept that is I wanted to explain before that is Maven. Okay, do you know about Maven? Do you know about Maven? So Maven is like a builder tool, guys. Okay, it is a builder tool. Why it is used means you have worked with your Servlets or you have worked with your JDBC. So what you have done, you went to the internet, you have downloaded the jar file. I have downloaded jar file that is there in my system. I have integrated in the libraries, right? So what I'm doing, whatever library before Maven, what I used to do means I used to go to the internet. I used to search for Spring jars. I used to search for Spring jars. I used to download all those jars. There will be like many jars, like all these jars will be there. Okay. Suppose if I go with the Spring 3.1.0, we'll have many jars here. Like if we can go here, API part. Okay, this is your API part. Reference. The library is not there. What will happen means you need to download like 10, 12, 15 number of jars for working the Spring Core itself. So for that reason, before Maven, what they used to do means they need to go to the internet. They used to download all those 15 jars. They used to integrate inside your Java application so that they used to get it in the referential libraries like this. Referential libraries, like how you got it in the JDBC app, like that they used to get it inside this. But now, because of this Maven, this will make my life easy. So what it will do means directly I will go to that one website that is Maven repository. So where this Maven repository is like a GitHub tool only, where we will contain all jars. It will contain all your jars along with Java, other language jars also you will get it. All the library files, all the third-party jars. You can get it from this Maven central repository. Okay. So from this, what I am doing means I will be getting the jars directly from the code, and this Maven repository contains one file, form.xml file. Okay, in this form.xml file, I will paste the code. Whatever dependency I want, I will paste there. I will put it up there. So I want Spring jars. I'll put it up inside the pom.xml file. I want JDBC jars. I'll put it up inside the pom.xml file. I want some Hibernate jars. I'll put it up inside the pom.xml file. I want servlets like that. I will put it up whatever jars I want. I'll put it up inside the pom.xml. That jars from where you will get it up, means sir, you'll get it up from Maven repository. Okay. So basically, now what I'll be doing, I will not go with the normal core Java project or normal dynamic web project. I will go with the Maven project from now. Okay. So go to your file here. Go to your file here. New Maven project. Okay. New Maven project. Just go here. Just go here. Go to next. Okay. Go to next. So you understood, right? How to go here. Go to file. Go to new. Go to other. If you're not able to find the Maven project here, go to other and search for Maven. Otherwise, directly go with the Maven project here. And then go to your next. Then there are like different catalogs will be coming. There are like multiple structures of your Maven project will be generated here. That is only nothing but your catalogs. So these are all downloaded from the internet. You should have the internet ready. Like while you are creating your first Maven project. From the second Maven project, you don't need internet. But the thing is, for the first Maven project, you need the internet definitely. Okay, so you need to go to your all catalogs. You need to go to your internal. These are all your project structures basically. In this, the basic structure is kickstart. So you can directly double click on this kickstart. Go to internal here. Instead of all catalogs, go to internal here. Okay. After going to internal, click on this kickstart. Double click on this kickstart. Then give your group ID. Group ID is nothing but your package name. Okay. So what I'll be doing, I'm going with one package, that is ExcelR. Okay. So package is like we will generally put the package. So inside the package, we'll have your classes and subclasses and interfaces and subpackages as well. So basically, package, how we will name it means based on your organization name, you can name it up. Suppose you're working at some Wipro, you can name it as pom.wipro. Or if you're working at some other company, so you're working at ExcelR, pom.excelr. Like based on your website name as well, you can put the package name. That will be easier. Okay, then artifact ID is nothing but your project name. So I'm putting the project name as 4app1. Okay, Spring 4 app. Spring 4 app. Okay. Then what I'll be doing, I'll click on finish. Okay, this one is not needed. I'll put it up until pom.excelr itself. Okay, so this artifact ID is nothing but your project name. Group ID is nothing but your package name. Okay, then click on finish. So if you can see here. So if you can see on the screen on the right side, you'll get this kickstart here. So why it is giving Maven artifact kickstart means it is downloading it from the internet, from the main central repository. It is downloading. Okay, so because of that reason, you'll get it all these things here, and on the console, on the window as well, your console window as well, you'll see all these things. See, scanning for projects, progress is something from the internet and downloaded from central repository. The art type has been downloaded from central repository from your internet, and then it will give this all these things. And yeah. So this is about it. All these things, what it has been downloaded, also it will see. And then if you can see on your where is it? Spring 4 app. It's not created still. Okay. Is it asking for anything here? It is still being downloaded or? Okay, it is asking for, like, see, it is asking here whether I should create the package. I will click it on either you can type Y and enter, otherwise directly enter also will work. Then build is success. Now if you can see in your project explorer, you'll get the project ready, get the Maven project ready. So in this Maven project, if you can see, the folder structure is totally different. So source name Java you'll be having for creating all the things, all the Java classes that you wanted to create, you should be creating inside the source name Java itself. And then you have your source tester Java, okay, where you can create your test cases, or basically JUnit tests if you wanted to write. You can create inside your source test Java directory. Then you have your JDK library. Then you have your Maven dependencies. Okay, so if you can see, the main file in this Maven project is pom.xml file. Okay, the main file is pom.xml file. Project object model, basically POM stands for. Then you have this project, all these things. Okay, you have your project name, group ID, project name, and then snapshot ID, the version of your project, and packaging as jar. And then you have your properties, etc. And then this dependencies tag is a main tag that you will work it out. So the developers will work basically with the dependency. Dependency is nothing but a jar. Whatever external jars, so third-party jars, if you wanted to add, that jars you can include here. So already JUnit jar is there. Because of that reason only in Maven dependencies, you have the JUnit jar loaded. Okay. In the same way, I will add the other jars as well that are required for Spring. So for that reason, where you need to go to download your jar files is you can go to Maven repository. Okay, Maven repository. Okay, in the Maven repository, search for Spring contest. Okay, to work with core Java, you need to search for Spring contest. To work with your Spring core, to work with your Spring core, this is your main repository, guys. This is your remote repository where you will have other jars as well. All the jars will be available here. Okay, in this repository itself. You need not to go to another site. It will be available directly. You can search it up here. From there, you can get it up. Okay, now you can see Spring contest is it. To work with the Spring core, I need to have the Spring contest jar file. I'll be going here inside the Spring contest, and then I will have this. You can get this Spring 6.2.3. That is fine. Okay, go to the Spring 6.2.3, which will have less vulnerabilities or maximum downloads. Less vulnerabilities and maximum downloads. You can choose that version. That's fine. Okay, Spring 6.2.3. I'm going up, and then I'm selecting up this code. Just I'm selecting it up means it will be copied. It will be copied directly. I will put it up inside your. I will be putting up inside your dependencies. Okay, I'll be putting up inside your dependencies section. Okay, here I'll be putting up that code immediately. Now you see in the Maven dependencies, if you observe, you have only JUnit jar file. Immediately, once I control S, once I save this file, you can see in the down, it will be building. And if you can see in the Maven repositories, along with the JUnit, all the Spring Core libraries are added. All the Spring Core jar files are added. Okay, so that is the power of your Maven. Instead of downloading, see how many files? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Instead of downloading all these things directly, I can get that code. I can put it up into the pom.xml file, and that will be downloaded here. That libraries will be downloaded. So am I clear until this point? What is Maven or how to get it up? Yes, how to go to your Maven repo or how to search. Am I clear until this point? If you have missed at any point of time, you can again watch the recording here. It will be readily available. Okay, inside your LMS. So you can directly go there and watch it while you're doing the project. Okay. Okay. So now what I'll be doing, I will go here to the source manager to understand the power of your Spring Core framework. So for that reason, what I'll be doing, I will go here in the com.xlr. I will create a new class. Okay. So the class name is some Flipkart. Okay. Flipkart. And inside this Flipkart, I'll be creating a parameterized constructor. I'll be creating like your constructor, basically how to create a constructor, the same name as that of class name, and you'll have your public. If you wanted to write the access modifier, you can edit a public. Okay. Then I'll be writing something here. This out. Products are available. Products are available. Okay. Products are available. Then you will have your e-cart. You require a delivery, right? For that, you definitely require a e-cart. Yes. So the e-cart reference only I'm writing up here. And then what I'll be doing, I'll be writing some deliver method. Okay. some deliver method to deliver your product, void deliver method. Okay, and here without product is being delivered, product is delivered by D. Okay, product is being delivered by. So means basically it will print e-cart. Okay, so that is fine. For this D, I will be I'll be creating a getters and setters. Okay, for this D. So basically, I will be creating a getters and setters. You can directly, you need not to write the code for getters and setters. Directly, what you can do, you can over here and then go to source here. Go to source, generate getter sign setters. Okay, click on this generate. Okay, so now this is done now. Then why it is asking this means you need to create a e-cart class, right? For that it is asking this. You can directly over on this and create class e-cart. Okay, so then click on finish. The e-cart class, what I'll be doing, I will be creating the constructor only again. Okay, public e-cart. So basically, I will tell delivery person is available. Delivery person is available. Delivery person is available. Then I will also write one static block to check whether my class is loaded or not. Okay, to check whether the class is loaded or not, I will also require one static block like e-cart class is loaded. E-cart is loaded. Okay, in the same way, I will also write inside that as well. In the meanwhile, I will generate the toString method as well for this. So generate source generate toString method. Okay, then click on check. Okay, so basically when I print the reference here, basically when I print that e-cart reference here, it will print to me instead of basically it will print the hash code. Instead of that hash code, it will print to me e-cart because this reference will implicitly call the d.toString method. So because of that reason, I have written the toString method. Okay, then I will be writing the static block here as well to check whether my Flipkart class is loaded on. Am I clear until this point? Flipkart and e-cart classes. Okay, I've created Flipkart and e-cart classes. Am I clear until this point? Yes. Okay. So now what I'll be doing, I will go to my class. I will remove this up. Okay, in your Maven code, this will be automatically generated. I will remove that up. Okay. Am I clear until this point, guys? Am I clear until this point? Yes. Yeah. So now what I'll be doing, this Flipkart for this Flipkart, in this Flipkart, I wanted to call this deliver method. This deliver method is a instance method. Your core Java is a instance method. So basically call this instance method. How many ways are there, guys? How many ways are there? I told you in the second session, I guess. How many ways to call your instance method? How many ways can you call the instance method? Two ways, right? Object and object reference. So for that, definitely you require a Flipkart object to be created. So for that reason, what I am doing, I am creating the Flipkart object here. Okay. So Flipkart f is equal to new Flipkart, right?
Okay. Then I'm calling the deliver method. I'm calling the deliver method. So basically, I'll call the deliver method, but this deliver method requires which reference? It requires your ecart reference. But am I created the ecart object here? Did I create the ecart object here? Did I create the ecart object here? No. But this Flipkart class requires ecart reference, right? So I can show you on it. Okay, this ecart, this Flipkart requires ecart reference, but ecart reference has been not created. Ecart object has been not created. Yes. So now you can see if I can run this program, run as Java application, save this up. Then if you can see, ecart is loaded, products are available. Basically, it is telling, it is calling the constructor. It's calling the constructor since I've created the object. Yes, here I need to write Flipkart, right? Flipkart. Yes, Flipkart is loaded. Products are available. And what it is telling, product is delivered by null. But what it should print? It should print ecart, right? But what it is telling, it is printing null because here initially this is a referencer type. So null will be staying there. So I've now created the ecart object. So for that reason, what I can do, I will be creating the object first, new ecart. Then where I should assign? I should assign it to Flipkart only, right? So for that reason, I need to use setter method. Set it to D to this reference. I need to use this setter method, right? So what I will be doing, f2 dot setter, f2 dot setter of ecart. So understand this example very well so that you'll be able to get that what is dependency injection. Okay. So f dot set to ecart. Okay. Now it's okay, right? Is it correct? The code is correct now. Yes. So let me run this up again. Run as Java application. Then if you can see on here, product is delivered. Product, if Flipkart is loaded, products are available. Then ecart is loaded. Delivery person is available. The ecart constructor is also called. Then product is being delivered by ecart. Yes. So what is happening here? I'm creating the object. I'm creating the ecart object. I'm assigning to Flipkart. Then I'm calling the deliver method. So it is printing product is delivered by ecart. So if you can understand the code here. So if ecart object is not there, will this code work? So now what I'll be doing, I will not go with the getters and setters. Now what I'll be using, I'll be using here itself. Okay, that ecart reference. Ecart reference I'll be using here itself. Okay, ecart T. Okay, then what I will be doing here itself, I'll be writing in the constructor itself. The constructor itself, I will be writing okay, in the constructor itself, I'll be writing products are available, and then this dot D is equal to this dot D is equal to D. Now tell me, guys, I'm not going the getter and setter. Now I wanted to create a Flipkart object. Flipkart object. Is that possible? Without ecart object, is it possible to create a ecart object? Now this setter is not there. This setter is not there. If suppose this setter is not there, without without creating the ecart object, can I create the Flipkart object? Yes or no? Without creating the ecart object, is it possible to create the Flipkart object? Is it possible? Is it possible? Right, because it's a interest constructor. Definitely, I need to pass a parameter. Then only I can call the. Then only I can create the ecart object. Now, what is happening then? This Flipkart is implicitly dependent upon the ecart itself, right? In real time, also this Flipkart is dependent upon ecart only, right? If delivery person, if delivery is not there, delivery agency is not there, then either the Flipkart has to deliver by himself, otherwise they need a delivery agency definitely. Yes. So in the same way here also in the program, definitely I need a ecart object first. Then I need to assign that ecart object to Flipkart object. Then only my Flipkart object will be Flipkart object can be created. Flipkart industry can be created. Then only I can call the Tailor method to deliver the products to my customer, right? So what is happening here? What is there in this model case or in this business case? So here Flipkart is dependent upon the eCart object, or Flipkart is dependent upon the eCart agency. So can I call this eCart as a dependent object? So without eCart, like without Flipkart, can eCart stay? Can eCart deliver the products? Is it possible? It is also not possible, right? Because deliver method is present inside Flipkart, is not present inside your eCart, right? So in that case, can I call this as your dependent object? Can I call this Flipkart as your target object, right? This Flipkart as your target object and this eCart as your dependent object. Is it possible? Yes. So because eCart should be injected to Flipkart, so only I am calling it as target object and eCart is a dependent object. So here what I am doing, I am creating the eCart object. I'm creating a dependent object first. Then I'm injecting this dependent object to target. Then I'm creating the dependent target object as well. Then I'm injecting this eCart object to Flipkart object. So this concept only I will call it as dependency injection. Dependency injection. Injecting dependent object to target object. Only I will call it as dependency injection. Am I clear until this point? Am I clear until this point? So basically injecting dependent object to target object only I will call it as a dependency injection. So basically what Spring Core does, what Spring Core does. So suppose there are like many delivery agents are there, like eCart, Woodart, DDDC, like that many delivery agents are there. So in that case, you need to create all the objects in core Java, normal. This is your core Java program only. If you're creating a normal core Java project, then in that case, you need to create the object for Flipkart, you need to create the object for eCart, for Woodart, for DDDC, all those you need to only manage. You need to only manage. But Spring Core framework, what it tells means, you don't need to create. If you are working with Spring Core framework, you don't need to create the objects. It will only create the objects for you. It will only create the objects for you. Basically, I will call it as beans. The object only I will call it as beans. It will only create the beans for you, which are called as Spring beans. If they are managed by Spring, I will call it as Spring beans. So Spring framework only will create the Spring objects. You need not to worry about the dependency management or basically the creation, destruction, or management. How many objects are there? Like in an enterprise application, there will be 10,000 classes. How you can manage 10,000 objects? That is a very burden to the developer, right? So in that case, only Spring Core container as your Spring framework with the help of Spring Core container will take care of your creation of your objects. Will take care of your creation of your beans as Spring beans. The second advantage of Spring Core framework is dependency injection. It will also take care of your dependency management and dependency injection. Okay, dependency injection also it will take care of. Okay, so invoking your Spring containers, like taking care of your Spring beans or creating of your objects, dependency management as well as dependency injection will also be taken care by the Spring Core framework itself. Right? So these are the advantage of your Spring Core framework. The main advantage of your Spring Core framework is this one. Okay. So what they will ask in the interview, what is the advantage or why Spring Core framework is required? So because of this reason, Spring Core framework is required. The same code I will write it up in the Spring Core framework using the Spring Core container now. Okay. So there were like two Spring Core containers were there, guys. There were like two Spring Core containers. The first one is Bean Factory. This is an old container. Okay. Old container. Spring Bean Factory. Old container. Okay. The next one is application contest. Application contest. This is a new one. This is a new container. Okay. Bean Factory is old container, whereas this application contest is being extracted again from Bean only. It is extended. It is a child class of your Bean Factory itself. but it is a new container. Okay, it's the latest one. So we'll work with both the containers now. So what I'll be doing, I will go back here. We'll go back here. Instead of this code, I will ask the object creation of your Flipkart or your e-card from your Spring Core container itself. From your Spring Core container itself. So for that reason, what I'll be doing, to invoke a Spring Core container, I require one class. Set your Spring XML bean definition reader. XML bean factory is not there. Okay. Okay. So I was searching for actually XML bean factory, but we are using Spring 6.2.3, right? That is being totally removed. This XML bean factory has been totally removed. So because of that reason, it is not showing up. So we will go with another bean factory, that is default listable bean factory. Default listable bean factory. Okay. So this default listable bean factory will be giving me default listable itself, or else I can go with the bean factory as well, or I can go with directly bean factory as well. Okay. So this default listable, I've created the bean, I've created the container basically using this implementation. I've created the container. So then the container is set up, but to that container, which object should be needed? So I will basically ask like this. Bean factory. I will ask a container to give the object of Flipkart.class. To view the object of Flipkart.class. This will give me Flipkart object. Okay, this will give me Flipkart object. Okay, then what I'll be doing, I will ask him to echo.deliver method you call. Like that I will do. Now you see, this is the implementation of your Spring container. The Spring container will be invoked by this code. Okay, I will write it up here as well. Spring container will be invoked by this code. Okay, Spring container will be created, which is bean factory container will be created basically. Okay, then get a bean, then f.deliver. Okay, now I will run this Spring project. Now I'm not running your core Java project. I'm running the Spring core project, Spring project basically. So here also I will use run as Java application itself. Now if you can see on the console, see what you are getting. Exception in thread, no such bean definition exception, no qualifying bean of type com.xlr of Flipkart available. Com.xlr of Flipkart available. So what it is telling is, basically what it is telling means it is invoking the Spring container, and what it is telling means inside the container, the Flipkart object is not there, it is telling. The Flipkart object is not there, it is telling. So what is happening means my container is happily created. My container is happily created. Okay. So here my Spring container has been happily created. But the thing is, it is telling I am not knowing what is Flipkart or what is e-card. That thing is there in my container, it is telling. Nothing is there in my container, it is saying. Then how can I convey? How can you convey? You are already having your Flipkart class. You are already having your e-cart class. Then how can you convey? You create the object of those Flipkart and e-cart or where it is located. How can you convey? Means you need to provide some inputs there, either using XML or either using annotation. Either using XML or either using annotation approach. Okay. So either using XML or either using annotation approach, you can tell to the Spring container. Okay. So basically what I'll be doing now, I will create XML file. So where you should create your XML file, you can create it up anywhere you want. So here only in this one, I will create XML file, go to your file, then give it up as the create XML file itself, go to other, new, other, search for XML widget, XML, then give your XML file as some name like spring.xml or something, you can give it up. Okay, spring.xml. Then inside this XML, first I need to load the definitions of your XML, because in XML you can write anything. The definitions I need to load it up. You can get it from the internet directly, or I will also give it up in the GitHub repository. You can also type XML schema, XML schema, definition, Spring core, Spring core, or Spring contest. If you type, you'll get it up here. Spring based definition. In the documentation, you can directly copy paste this code. Okay. Otherwise, I have that code ready to you. I will be pushing that code in the GitHub. You can get it from there. Okay. Spring.xml. So this spring.xml, we have that. We have this beans code. So that code I'll be taking up from here. Okay. So if I go here, I'll be pasting that code. Okay. This is your bean stack, then opening bean stack, closing bean stack, these definitions, and then your it's bean stack. Okay, these are your definitions, guys. Like whatever you can write a HTML code as well inside your XML. But the thing is, the Spring XML part it should understand, right? So for that reason, you're doing these definitions. Okay, then you need to go with one tag, that is bean tag, for creating your object, to tell the container to create the object. Then this bean tag with some ID you'll be giving. This ID should be unique. Then class, where your class is located, you should provide. So my class is located com.xlr. That full qualified name you should give, com.xlr.flipkart. Okay, this you should be giving. I also want the e-cart object, right? For that also I'll be creating the e-cart object. Okay, e-cart, and where the class is present, that class also I should be giving up here. Okay, so class is equal to com.xlr.ecart. Okay, then to this Flipkart object, what is needed, guys? To this Flipkart object, now also if you can see, I will run this code up after running your XML, but you need to tell in the app.java file where that XML is located. Okay, so for that reason, I'll be pasting up the code here. XML, this code, I need to paste it up. Okay, so XML bean definition reader. Okay, this XML bean definition reader and load it up. Okay, here I will be load that code. So now you can see that I need to load the XML I need to load that XML. So because of that reason, I'm pasting up this code. Okay. Now if you can see here, okay, I'm loading the XML definition reader. In this XML definition reader, I need to pass this bean factory or reference. Okay, bean factory reference. Okay. Factory. Okay, reader dot load definitions. Yeah, I need to load this class as well. Just doing the error. The constructor XML bean factory is undefined. Factory. Class path resource. Okay. I have imported here XML bean definition reader itself. Okay. And then I'm invoking bean factory. Fine. And there is directly in the same folder I have this spring.xml file. Okay. Fine. Until this point, I am getting this file. Okay. So I will convert this up to default listable bean factory itself for that sake. Default listable itself so that it will work. Now you see this, like I have shared the XML file as well. So in the XML file, basically I'm passing inputs to create the objects of eCut as well as Flipkart. And I'm asking Flipkart object to be given by the container, and I'm asking the deliver method to execute. But if you can see here in the output, you'll be getting an error here. See, we'll get an error again. Parsing XML document from class path resource spring.xml is not found. Okay, so cannot be opened because it doesn't exist. Fine. So where it is being, where I have created that XML file. Okay, form.xlr, the app class, spring.xml file. You need to pass the exact location of that file, guys. Okay. So copy. Properties. Then where it is present, source main Java, com.xlr, spring.xml. Fine, right? .xml, where it is a new class path resource, spring.xml. Correct one minute. Why it is telling it is not found. Okay, I will create another folder for this sake. I will move it up to this folder. Let's see whether it will work now. Okay. Now let's see whether it will work. Run as Java application. So yeah. Cannot find form.xlr.flipkart. Okay. Form.xlr.flipkart being with name Flipkart. The class path resource FP. Okay. Why it can't find? Yeah, I made a mistake here. Package mistake, ExcelR, I need to stop, right? I have to return the E here. Okay, that mistake I need not to make. Okay, now if you save this file, it will work. Now if you can see in this Flipkart app. Okay. Now we can see spring.xml file, you have this form.xlr.ecut, form.xlr.flipkart, and form.xlr. Okay, exe is there already here. Exe is there. Exe, your package name is ExcelR. Exe CLR I have typed. Okay, exe CLR I have typed. Exe CLR I have typed here. Okay, Now, if you can see, I will Control S and then go to your app class, run as Java application. Okay. Now you can see this error creating bean with name FP is defined a failed to instantiate, no default constructor found. Because I have created a parameterized constructor here. Here I have created a parameterized constructor here in the Flipkart class. But what it is telling, what it is telling, there is no default constructor because of that, because I have not created the object, I have not injected. So how to inject means you need to use one, you can use, if you are going with the constructor injection, you need to go with constructor arg tag here. Okay, constructor arg tag here, and then you can inject. Okay, then you can inject like this constructor arg. So basically name is equal to ecart. So constructor arg name, that is ecart, and value is also reference. Basically reference is also ecart. Reference in the sense you will have your pin id, that reference will be passing up here, and the value is nothing but on your Flipkart or in the Flipkart, what is the value? It is D, right? So that D you should be passing there. Okay, that D you should be passing. That is optional, guys. You cannot pass. It's optional. So now you can see in the run as Java application, you'll be able to get that. See, ecart is loaded, deliver person is available, Flipkart is loaded, products are available, product is been delivered by the ecart. Okay, so like this, now you are not creating the object using new keyword. So what you're doing in the XML file, you're passing, you are creating the beans, but you're not using new keyword anywhere here. Before, what you used to do, you used to create like this, but now what you're doing, you're doing through directly from container itself. You're invoking the container, you are writing your XML file, you're loading your definitions from your XML file, then you're asking for ecart object. Okay, so like that, you can ask for ecart object as well, like this. So you're not using the new keyword, instead of new keyword, you're doing all these things. Yes, so like that, you can go ahead and do. And you can also go ahead and do with the setter injection as well. For the setter injection, you should be going with property type. For the constructor injection, you should be going with constructor arg. For the setter injection, you should be going with the property type. Property name is equal to D, reference is equal to ecart. So like that, you can inject the object. Okay, am I clear until this point? Instead of new keyword, you're doing this thing. You're doing the other way of injection. Okay, so am I clear until this point? Yes. Can I get a quick heads up? So this is your Spring Core actually. To loading your container or dependency injection, dependency management can be done in Spring Core. But the thing is, what is the disadvantage with the Spring framework is that is this all configuration you need to do using the XML. Definitely the XML file is needed, and this all configuration you need to do it. You need to do. So that is the only disadvantage with the Spring framework. Means you need to create the XML file. You're seeing, right? I created the XML file. I have loaded the definition. I've created XML file. I've loaded the definition, right? I've loaded the definition inside that XML file. Yes. Then I have created an object. I have loaded the container. I have created the object. Those all things I'm doing. The extra configuration parts I'm doing. I'm not creating using the new keyword. But what I am doing, I'm doing all these configurations. Okay, that is again a boilerplate code. That is again a deck to the programmer. So for that reason only, to avoid this configuration, to do auto configuration or to do annotation based on, to work with only annotations, not XML. For that reason only, we are going with the Spring Boot framework. Okay, we are going with the Spring Boot framework to do all this manual configuration automatic. For that only we are going with the Spring Boot framework. Am I clear until this point? Yes. Am I clear until this point? Yes. Before introducing the Spring Boot framework or how to create the Spring Boot or what are the advantages of Spring Boot, before doing that, I will go with the MVC design pattern. Okay, I will discuss MVC design pattern, then I will move with the Spring Boot. Okay, so can anyone tell me what is MVC design pattern? What is MVC or MVC industry standard? Can anyone tell me this? MVC. Did anyone listen to this term MVC? MVC. Yes, model view controller, correct, Preeti? Yes, correct. So basically, whatever Java code or whatever backend code you're writing, you'll follow some structure in the industry. In enterprise level application, not your personal project, in your personal project also, if you maintain the structure, your code will be valuable. Okay, your code will be treated as professional code, or your project will be treated as professional project. Okay, when you follow this pattern, that is MVC design pattern. Okay, so here M stands for model. Here M stands for model, or I can also call it as entity, or I can also call it as DAO layer. Okay. Whereas V stands for view. Okay. Then C stands for control. C stands for control. Okay. So I will be doing this thing. I will go to the paint. So suppose I will go to the flipkart.com itself, the very first example that I have discussed. www.flipkart.com. I am giving the request as /mobiles. I am giving the request as /mobiles. Immediately the user is giving like this. Immediately the user is giving like this. What will get the response? Students, what you will get? What you will be getting the response? Immediately once you have given the response, request like this. What you will be getting the response? You'll be getting a mobile space, right? So immediately in the backend, in the server. So what will happen is, suppose if you consider this as your server, what will happen is inside the server, how the code will be structured. Like basically our backend code will be deployed inside the server only, right? Your Spring Boot code or the Spring code will be deployed inside your server itself, right? So how that project will be coded, or that backend code, the business logic will be coded, they will follow the MVC pattern. So basically the first thing when you're doing the request, the initial request will be moved to the controller layer. Okay, so this controller is like your main gate. I can call this controller your main gate. So every request that you're giving to the website will be moved to the controller first. Then this controller will only accordingly decide which program should be executed or which Java class should be executed. Okay, so basically we will have another layered approach. That is which there will be one layer
that is service layer. In that service layer, you'll be creating multiple Java service business logic classes. Okay, so which service class should be executed, or which based on your path or based on your request only, it will decide which business logic should be executed. In this service layer, you'll be writing the actual logic. You'll be writing the actual logic. So which logic should be executed will be decided by the which service class should be called will be decided by your controller. Okay, then this controller will take care of your will also take help of your model layer or DAO layer. Okay, this controller will also take care of your model layer or DAO layer. Okay, model layer or DAO layer. And someone has muted me, so don't do these things. Just listen to the concept. This is running in the industry. In industry code, this is only running. Okay, if you're not understanding these layers, then it will be a bit difficult to you to read the code as well, to see the code as well. So please understand what each layer is doing or what each package is doing. Okay, this is very important. Then if you can see here, then this model layer only will this model layer only will interact with the database. Okay, this model layer only will be interacting with your database, and all the database logic you'll be writing inside the model layer. Okay, all the DB logic or your entities which are interacting with the database, that you'll be writing inside your model layer, and there will be a connection with it. Okay, so there will be a back and forth connection with it, and this controller will have a back and forth connection with the service layer. The service layer will have back and forth connection with the model layer, and then the request will be coming here. So basically, the request will be moving here. The request will be, once you have typed with this request, the request will be first moving to controller, then that will be moving to the service layer, then it will be moving to the model layer, then it will be going to the DB. Then from DB, you'll get the response. This, and you'll be getting from the DB, you'll be getting the response. Then in the service layer, it will be included in the business logic. It will be included all the data. Then it will be given, the response will be given to the controller. And based on this response only, it will invoke certain, either it can be specific React.js file, or either it can be some JSP file or something. Those are all things, the JSP files or timely files or HTML files, all these things you'll be writing inside which layer, if you ask me, inside your Java, that is view layer. Okay, so this only I will call it as a MVC design pattern. Okay, this only I will call it as a MVC design pattern. MVC industry design pattern. Okay, so like this only we'll create the project as well. So basically in Spring Boot, like Spring Boot, I already told you, like it will reduce your configuration, I have told you, right? So in Spring Boot, to represent your controller classes or to represent your controller layer, we have a specific annotation, that is controller annotation. Okay, then for representing your service layer, we have a specific annotation, that is service annotation. Okay, for representing your DAO layer, we have a specific annotation, that is repository annotation. Okay, for representing your DAO layer or model layer. Okay, then this is nothing but your DB. Okay, then for creating any objects, or anything, we have separate annotation to consider it as a Spring build. Means Spring container will automatically create. For that reason, we have the component annotation. Okay, then we have the auto-wide annotation for dependency injection. Okay, for injecting one class to another class, we have the auto-wide annotation. Okay, this all annotation will be using up to create a Spring Boot project and to work with the Spring Boot. So am I clear until this point with the MVC design pattern? I'm going literally too slow to discuss each and every concept very clearly, and then I'm stepping into the coding. Yes. So please give a quick heads up if you have understood this concept. Yes. Am I clear until this point? Am I clear, Mukul, until this point? Okay. So now what I'll be doing now, how to create a Spring Boot project, sir. So basically, how you created a Spring, like what are the advantages of Spring Boot? First, I will discuss. So the advantage of Spring Boot is mainly it is extended version of your Spring framework itself. But the advantage is the first advantage is auto configuration. So directly with annotations only, if I configure, it will only create the object, it will only inject the object, everything it will do. The Spring container itself it will do. We need not to create our no XML code itself. No XML code itself. And the next one is we don't want to like the next one is embedded Tomcat server. You'll have your embedded Tomcat server. You need not to download the Tomcat server again. This development code, the development code, like your not production code requires another server again, definitely. But development code, what you are developing currently in your system, that will be deployed on the server, and you will have your port number, IP address ready. So you have your embedded Tomcat server. Need not to download as well. Need not to download as well. Okay, need not to download as well. Then you have your embedded database as well. Embedded database, you need not to install MySQL as well. It will only have that embedded one database will be provided. That is internally automatically one database will be provided. That is H2 database. H2 database will also. So these are the prime advantages of your Spring Boot. The major advantages of your Spring Boot framework. You can also find it of other advantages from the notes which I will be sharing with you. But the thing is, the main advantage is this. Okay, the major advantage. Okay, then how to create the Spring Boot project? So there is a different approach to create a Spring Boot project. Since Eclipse will not have directly the option to create a Spring Boot project, you need to go to Spring Initializer website. Okay, Spring Initializer or start.spring.io. You can type start.spring.io or Spring Initializer. Okay, start.spring.io or Spring Initializer. Then you can go here. The same Maven project how you created, like that only the structure will be. Okay, choose your Maven as Maven itself, then Java, then 3.4.4. You can put the same version. So it will be initially pointing to Kotlin or Groovy. Choose it as Maven, language as Java, 3.4.4, and then do your package name as ExcelR. Okay, as ExcelR. Then demo project. You can create the project as like e-commerce, the name as e-commerce backend. Okay, e-commerce app backend. So tomorrow we'll be finishing up this code as well. The backend code. Okay, e-commerce backend. Okay, then you can remove this ExcelR here. Okay, the packaging is Java only and Java version as 21 itself. You don't know the 21 only, right? Yes. Then this is nothing but dependencies. You don't have to go to Maven repository also from now on. Directly in this site itself, you can add the dependencies what you want. Okay. So to work with Spring REST or to work with Spring MVC, I need one module, that is Spring Web module. Please include this dependency. Okay. Please include this Spring Web dependency. Okay. So you can follow this recording and you can directly add these dependencies. So on after the class also you can create this project. And then we have the Spring Data JPA to work with database. Okay, add this dependency as well. Then we are working with Spring MySQL, right? MySQL driver. So MySQL connector is needed. Okay, MySQL driver, add that driver as well. And to get that automatically getters, setters are all like your parameters constructor, no parameters constructor, you require Lambok, add that Lambok dependency as well. Then to validate your request or response, I require validation as well, add that validation as well. Okay. Then I require security as well for your login or authentication tokens to be generated. I require Spring security as well. So these are all the dependencies needed. And to get my server automatically start up with directly through saving, I require Spring Boot Dev Tools. Add that as well. So these are all dependencies needed. So Spring Web, Spring Data JPA, then MySQL driver, then Lambok, then validation, Spring security, Spring Boot Dev Tools. Okay, so you can follow this recording again and directly add these dependencies and create the project. Then if you click on this Explorer, you'll be able to see the Maven like pom.xml file with all the dependencies code. Okay, you need not to copy this code as well. Directly, you can close it up. Directly when you click on generate, one zip file will be downloaded here. Okay, one zip file will be downloaded here in your downloads folder. Then directly extract that up. Directly, what you need to do, you need to go to your downloads folder. You need to extract it up. Okay, then like this, the folder will be created when you have extracted that, and then directly go to your Eclipse, go to file, go to import. Okay, go to file, import, choose Maven here, select Maven here. Okay, choose Maven. When you click on import, choose existing Maven projects. Click on next. Then click on next. Basically, I'm not choosing the project. Basically, click on next. Then browse for your root directory. Go to your downloads. Select this e-commerce backend. Then select that folder and click on finish. Okay. So what I'll be doing, I will be pasting that code. I've created some entities, some DTOs here. Okay. If you can see that code, the same thing I've done. And I've created this project. I've imported into my Eclipse. And inside this source main Java, this is your project directory, right? No, Maven based project directory. And inside this, you have all these dependencies downloaded already. Directly, you can copy my Maven pom.xml file will also work. Creating a Maven project and copying my Maven.xml file will also work. Okay, pom.xml file will also work instead of creating your own project. Directly in your Eclipse, create your Maven project and copying this will also work. Okay, so what you can do, all the Spring Boot jars will be downloaded, all the Tomcat jars, Hibernate jars, Spring Security jars will be downloaded. Along with that, I require another dependencies as well. That dependencies also I have put, like your Spring Security dependencies also I have put. Okay, just download it from GitHub. Okay, I'll push this code to GitHub. Just download it from there. And then in the source main Java, I have created some packages here, like controller package, DTO package, entity package, and enums package, and exception package, and mapper package, and repository package. I will explain the code, what is there inside this tomorrow, but please create these packages inside your local and copy and paste this code. What each and every line is doing or what it is doing, I will explain that up tomorrow. But the thing is, just prepare the structure of this project. Okay, just prepare the structure of this project so that we are ready by tomorrow, so that we can directly concentrate on the code, what is written or what each line of code is doing in the project. Okay, so am I clear until this point? Will you be doing this assignment for today? Silent, I will not be giving any assignment for today. Only this assignment, this will be your assignment. And the other thing is, one question I'll be giving as your self-learning question. So first assignment for the day is create this Spring Boot project. Okay, and create the structure of this Spring Boot project. Create the structure of this Spring Boot project from GitHub by following GitHub. By following GitHub, e-commerce backend. Okay, e-commerce backend. Okay, then the second assignment I'll be giving for the day, explore on differences between Bean factory and application contest. Bean factory and application contest. Bean factory and application contest. Contents. Okay. So this one I have not explained. Please go through it. The second question. Okay. Then the third one, if you wanted to do, explore the notes. Explore the notes on Spring Core. What I have shared on the GitHub, I will be sharing this Spring Core notes. Please explore that as well. Please read it out once, go through it. Okay. So this will be the assignment for the day. Okay. This will be the assignment for the day. Am I clear until this point? Am I clear until this point? Yes. Will you be doing the assignment? Yes. So you're clear on the assignment part, right? Yes. Can I get a quick heads up in the chat box? Are you clear on the assignment part? So you have your GitHub link, right? You have my GitHub link, right? Yes. Or else I'll be sharing once again over the chat. So over this GitHub link, you'll be getting that. Okay, code, and create your project by tomorrow so that I'll be readily explaining the code tomorrow. Okay, then I'll be moving into the front end from tomorrow. Okay, so on that note, are there any questions before winding up? I'm done with the session. If there are any questions, I can answer. Otherwise, we're good to wrap. Okay, I think there are no questions. Yes. So on that note, I will wrap up the class. So have a great evening. Thank you so much for joining, and good night. We'll meet again tomorrow at 7 p.m. Okay. Thank you, guys.
Yeah, thank you, sir. Thank you so much. Yes, students, we are winding up for the day. Thank you all for joining. Good night, everyone.